Hey folks, I am attorney Roger P. Foley, and today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about criminal cases, clients, to help you understand a little bit of what happens. Now, it's great to tell a war story and say, oh, my client was charged falsely, the police beat him up, and this happened, and they made so many mistakes, and I won on a technicality, or, oh, my client was just perfectly innocent, and he, I did my work, I worked hard, I convinced the prosecutor, I convinced the judge, I convinced the jury, and I got it not guilty, da da da. Great. And that happens. And I'm appreciative that I've had those types of cases. But let me tell you about the vast majority of legal messes that I deal with. I get people who are on probation for a felony. They commit a new law violation. Now, whether they did or they didn't, but they are charged with a new felony. So they've violated their probation. They've picked up another felony charge. So what happens? Well, most of the time, when you pick up a new law violation, meaning you're newly arrested on a new crime, there's no bond on the violation of probation. Sure, sometimes you can get bond. I've had people placed into treatment, into drug rehabilitation centers. I've had people brought into mental health court. I've had people get a bond because I thought that the evidence was weak and I was able to articulate it to a judge. Great, those are all great things. Everyone wants the happy story. Everybody wants to hire the lawyer that always wins. Always. Guess what, folks? Nobody always wins. Because an attorney is as good as his facts. Sure, there's rules of evidence, criminal procedure, case law, right? There's all these things that help us. Sure, am I good at articulating something? Can I make something that really sounds like crap and turn it into a Hallmark card? Yeah, I can. And so can a lot of other criminal defense attorneys. But what happens when your client's got, 3 prior felonies, 5 prior misdemeanors, domestic violence cases, gun charges in his past, DUIs, and he's on probation for one of those things, and he picks up he or she picks up another charge. Then things get difficult. Then it's the client that's in jail. He's cursing out his mother, his sister, his wife. You son of a, oh, you don't do nothing for me. No, they didn't put him there. But, he or she, are sitting in custody. And a lot of these cases have to do with drug abuse and alcohol abuse. But I find family members getting beat up, at least verbally, like on the phone. I have family members that call me and say, oh, my son told me that I was this and that, and called me the B word and the C word and the you name the word, right? I have clients that are, oh, poor me, the system. Oh, he didn't read me my rights. This case should go away. Okay, look, folks, just so you know, reading the rights, Miranda rights, are not required. Okay, I know you watch Law and Order and a lot of crime shows. But the only time Miranda applies, the only time that they have to read you your rights is if they ask you a question that pertains to the crime. If they ask you your name, it doesn't mean anything. If they say, sir, where were you on, March 15, 2021? Or, where were you on July 16, 2020? And do you have a gun? And whatever. Like if they ask you questions that are pertinent to the crime, then they have to read you Miranda. Otherwise, they're just like, they don't care. They're just arresting you. They don't need to read you jack. So what do I find? I find that some of these clients might be rough and tough. They might have gang tattoos on them, like eye drops, Jesus tattoos. I'm all for Jesus, big Jesus fan here, so all for Jesus. But some of the tattoos that I see, that's like, F the world and F the police and F this person and da da da, and I'm a gang and I'm a warrior and I'm this. You know what those guys tend to be? Big wimps. How do I know that? Because they call. They call me from the jail. When their family member that they just bullied on the phone calls me and hires me and pays me my legal fee and signs a retainer and promises to get my payments made, this person, man, woman, I've had both, are calling, can't you get me out of jail? Can't you get me out of jail? No, I can't. There's a no bond hold. You violated your probation on a life felony. That means you're facing life in prison, or you violated probation on your drug trafficking case, and you have a 7-year minimum mandatory sentence, or you violated your probation. You're on probation for domestic violence, and you have alleged to have beat the crap out of your wife or your child. You're on probation for theft or some kind of theft crime, and you steal a car or you break into your ex-boyfriend's house and steal his jewelry or the cross that his mother gave him, or whatever the situation. You're not getting a bond a lot of times. Yeah, I can file a motion for a bond, and the judge can go, well, thank you, Mr. Foley, respectfully denied, and that's it. You get one chance, and that's it. So you don't rush to go to that hearing. You rush to do the work so you can have the case law and look for cases that are analogous and look for cases that the judge has already had in his division, and you look up cases within your own courthouse, and you make sure you know as much about the judge. And if you don't know about the judge, you talk to the public defender and you talk to other attorneys. But guess what? Sometimes you still get a no. Sometimes people have a non-bondable offense. Sometimes people are prison release reoffenders. They did a prison term for some other case, and now within the next 3 years, they pick up another violent crime and they're held no bond. Okay, what do you do in that case? You wait. Now what happens? Probation violation. Oh, I got my shoulder. I just had surgery. I can't even lift my arm. That's all I can lift, folks. Literally, I can use my forearm and my hand. I can type right now, but I can't lift my arm, like not even seriously, like 3 inches. You do your work and you prepare. You try to get the new case thrown out at case intake. If you can't get the new case thrown out at case intake, now you got to fight that case. But guess what? The violation of probation usually goes first. And they only got to prove 51% or 50.01% that you committed a crime, that the allegation is probably true, and then you're facing the max on the original charge. So what do I hear? How come you can't get me out? Oh man, you're not a good lawyer. Oh man, I thought you were good. Brother, you could give me $1 million, you could give me $1 billion. You're going to sit until we get this resolved. Now, you can admit to your violation and maybe you get reinstated. Maybe you have to do some time, but maybe you get, maybe you do 30 days or 90 days or a year, depends on the seriousness of the case. Oh, I want to be with my kids. Well, maybe before you smoke the crystal meth or shoot the heroin or shoot the Dilaudid or drink another bottle of vodka, maybe that's the time that you could have spent with your kids. So telling me, and I know this doesn't sound like, what kind of defense attorney is this? A realistic one. You telling me that you need to be able to have time with your kid, you have little kids. If I say that to a judge, he looks at me like I'm retarded. And I know that's not a good term either. He looks at me like I'm totally incompetent, right? Because he's like, Mr. Foley. And he's not mad at me. He knows I'm trying to help my client. I have a job to do. But he's like, if Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith cared so much about her kid or his kid, they wouldn't have put that syringe in the arm. That's my good arm. Can't lift this arm, right? Or wouldn't have drank that bottle of alcohol, wouldn't have got another DUI, or wouldn't have stole another item at the mall, or stolen a tractor or a jet ski, or the things that people steal. When people have come to me and they've stolen food, you know how much I charge for the case? 0. I get a homeless person that allegedly stole some laundry detergent a few years ago. No, didn't charge. No. Call the prosecutor. I go, hey, I've always heard this. When someone's charged with stealing food, like at the grocery store because they're hungry, hey, we're not going to hit them so hard. How about the homeless person that's, stealing some detergent to clean their clothes because they only have a couple of, shirts and pants, and they're trying to get a job interview to get out of homelessness. Yeah, folks, I'm going to do that case for free. All right. And I'm going to have compassion for that person. I'm going to have empathy. But the person who goes, oh, I got a kid home, but I'm going to leave that kid alone, and maybe that kid's 8 or 10 years old, and I'm going to go down the street and I'm going to shoot some heroin. I got to tell you, like, if you pay me to represent you, I'm going to be your best friend and do everything I can. But behind closed doors, how much empathy am I going to tell you I have for you? I'm going to tell you, listen, I know you got a drug problem. I know it's difficult, but don't cry to me today when you're sitting in custody because you can't see your kids or that DCF has gotten involved. It's mind blowing. You literally see these tough gangster type men and women that, I mean, right out of a movie. Like, you think that they were like gangbangers and they're shooting up the courthouse. And they're literally crying and acting wimpy. Like, I can't do 30 days. Like, what about my kids? Like, yo, bro. Like, hey, when you hit that guy with the baseball bat across the head and he's in a coma, I mean, didn't you think about your kids before you did that? Because, I mean, the guy called you a wimp, and so now you got to hit him with a baseball bat, or you shot him, or you stabbed him, or that before you stuck that heroin in your arm, you just, what about your kids then, man? That's the time to think about your kids. So, if you watch this video and you go, oh, I'm appalled, then I'm not your attorney. If you want someone who does everything legally they can to win, files every motion, makes every argument, annoys the crap out of prosecutors to do the best, to advocate the most for their clients, then I'm your guy. But if you don't like hearing the truth, I'm not your guy. So I had someone yesterday, I guess that's probably the reason for the video, called me for a second, actually a third consultation, and then set it up with me. And I wasn't charging because I thought the person was going to hire me. And then, they just got hung up and they got mad because I said, hey, I can't drop everything right now. I've already had 2 consultations with you. Like, look, I'll talk to you and your significant other later today. I can set a time. I can do it 1 o'clock. I can do a Zoom hearing, but I can't do it this minute. I already have 2 appointments listed. Okay. Oh, well. It is what it is. I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. I just wanted to tell you about the realities. Like, it's not all pleasant. It's not all happy. Like, I get stressed. I put my head into my hands. I put my hands together and I pray and I go, Lord God, give me the strength. Give me the passion. Give me the knowledge. Give me the ability to articulate my client's facts in a way that will benefit him or her to get the best result possible. I know, God, without you, I'm nothing. That's the kind of attorney you're looking for, then I think I fit the bill. I'm not perfect. I'm not omniscient. I'm not all-knowing. I have no crystal ball. I believe in Jesus, but he doesn't whisper in my ear and say, oh, Mr. Foley, like, hey, you got Mr. Smith, or you got Lakeisha's case, or you got Jennifer's case, or you got Juan's case, or you got Billy's case. Like, no. I literally pray and I work hard. And I give you my best. My best seems to be pretty darn good in my opinion. And I think it's because I reach out to the man upstairs and tell him, look, I'm not even worthy to ask you for another helping hand. I'm not worthy. I got my own issues. I don't know what this video is meant to do, but I made it, so now I'm posting it. I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. May God be with you. Do your best to do the right thing always. Respect yourself, respect your family, respect the man upstairs. Thanks for listening.